Electronic music can be so ugly. Let's dive into that and continue to set up the show as soon as I shout out today's patron, and that patron shout out goes to Mike Pounder. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to the first actual setup video for Freebeat Live 2026, my upcoming free live stream concert. As you can see behind me here, we've got a bunch of gear. This is pretty much untouched from the last video I made announcing the show, and it got me thinking, this is ugly right now, but you all have no idea what's around this stage either, because that's even uglier. And it just reminded me that in music performances, there's a lot of ugly that has to go on before you get to the beautiful performance part of things. And that's almost even more true for electronic music, where even more things are laid out and planned beforehand. And I'm kind of hoping to illustrate that in this little series, I guess we'll call it, where I set up this show. So let's see how well this new DJI Osmo Pocket 3 camera can keep up with me. Again, not sponsored, I bought this with my own money, but I know it's got tracking, so let's see how it works. Yeah, look at that, that's pretty cool. Anyway, so obviously we've got the area where the main stage for this show is going to be, right? We've got lights and fog machines sitting there. We've got T-bars around it on this side, 2 T-bars over on that side as well. If we look over here, will it go this far? It sure will. We can see we've got shelves just lined with crap, half music stuff from when I stored things out here, half Survivor things from my family's big game of Survivor that we played. I've got this table here. I don't know if you can see it, maybe. This table is going to actually be the first thing that we're going to establish for the show, which will be the booth. Right now, it's just carrying a bunch of crap on it from Survivor. As you can see, I brought the main board out here, which I'll be using the Zoom LiveTrack L12. Let's head over here, and if I crouch down, yeah, it goes down too, cool. We've got a tomato cage right here. We've got some sand, some Quikrete sand that I've been using to build a little golfing green in the backyard. I've got like a chair over here, more T-bars, more tomato cages, a big broom there. There's a lot to clean up. One of the first orders of business that I think we should get to is actually figuring out kind of the lay of the land, as it were. I've never done a show out here, so I don't know where things are going to go. So I mentioned that we are going to use this table as the booth. So let me go ahead and clear that off really quick. There we go, that's better. The booth is going to be the sort of base of operations for everything show related. So the booth is where the soundboard goes. The booth is where the live stream computer goes. The booth is where the computer running the lights goes. All of that goes on the booth. It's basically like the hub, the headquarters of the show. That's where both my wife and Oliver, my friend, will sit. They will be on headset. They can communicate with me via a microphone that they'll have. They can communicate with each other. So right now I'm actually thinking that the booth needs to go right here in this region. The reason for that is because this side of the barn has all of the power, whereas that side of the barn has no power. And as you might imagine, power is a pretty critical part of the booth. So I think if we put the table right here, we'll be able to fit 2 chairs in behind it where I'm kind of standing. And depending on how we have the lights set up, we'll be able to keep the booth off camera as well. I'm imagining the camera for the show is probably going to go about right here. I really would like it to be sandwiched between the 2 posts here, right there, and then right over there. That one, yeah. So that's probably where the camera will sit for the actual show. So with that in mind, I'm gonna move the Quikrete, the sand, the tomato cage. I'm really impressed that this camera is still tracking me. I'm gonna grab the booth and move it over to where you all are. There. That actually seems pretty solid. In fact, we can probably go a little bit closer. And from right here, we'll be able to start envisioning the setup. We're gonna go ahead and put the main board right there. Now, I don't believe the LiveTrack L12 is actually going to be the audio interface for the show. I think it's just going to be the mixer. So I think we're going to run all of my inputs in here, and then myself, Lady Freebeat, and Oliver are each going to run our own monitors with our own custom mix. And then I believe the main outs here are gonna go into my Evo 4, which is going to be the actual audio interface for the show proper. So I know we haven't touched on it much, but we've kind of been exploring it without talking about it. Electronic music, and just music in general, is ugly. And I know that's something that not a lot of people like. In fact, I'd imagine that like 90% of the people that clicked on this video initially are not gonna make it to this point in the video, because especially in the world of synth YouTube, no one wants to see the ugly side of things. They just want to see the beautiful finished product, which is okay, but then that really sets up some unreal expectations or unrealistic expectations when that same person goes to then create. And they don't get this immaculate, polished product right out of the gate. It can be really disheartening. And I think it happens way more often than people realize, especially because then they'll get in their own head and be like, well, maybe I'm not talented enough for it. Or even more commonly, oh, I just didn't buy the right piece of gear. The ugliness of this side of music is kind of what causes gas, in my opinion. Gear acquisition syndrome, if you're unaware. It's not pretty, right? This side of things, but it is absolutely necessary. The decisions that I make today, right now, while filming this video, are going to affect the overall outcome of the show. The fact that I was able to figure out a spot to place the booth so easily, I'm really excited about that, right? That's gonna be a big win. It's going to allow Oliver and myself to be able to start placing T-bars and looking at hanging lights and figuring out where we want things much sooner than we have in shows past. Him and his wife are actually coming over on Sunday for dinner, and we are going to be able to come out here and get to work. That's really cool. And thanks to QLC Plus, which again, it's gonna be ugly getting into that software, but it's also necessary. With that software though, we are going to be able to map all of this out in a virtual environment and then start programming shows. I do already have my set list mostly done, so we know the order of things, but it's just going to make everything that much smoother. So while these steps are ugly, you gotta do them. And especially here on Synthtube, I don't really see this side of things talked about enough. And I'll just say one more thing about all of these ugly steps. This same mindset applies to making music as well. Especially with electronic music, you've got to start with the ugly to end up with something beautiful. I do hope you found this video informative or at least entertaining. Let me know what you thought of the Pocket 3's performance. I can't wait to watch this footage. Hopefully it's not too shaky. Surely it's better than me holding the GoPro. If you like it, let me know. If you dislike it, let me know. I'm curious as to your thoughts. Either way though, click that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, get excited for this show August 21st and August 22nd. If you want your music featured in the show, stay tuned. Details on the Freebeat Live Community Showcase will be coming very soon in a standalone video. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.